Check.
Recently, my daughter started coloring and writing a lot more often, and I quickly realized she does not hold her pencil correctly. So I started wondering, did I give her a pencil at too young of an age? Should I correct the way that she holds her pencil? What can I do to help her become a better writer? So, to the internet I went. And just in case you're wondering the same types of things, I am here to tell you what I found online about pencil grip. And just in case you're wondering, I do know that I have a big scratch on my face. But I planned to film today, so I'm going to film anyways. And if you'd like to subscribe, you get lots more great educational content and tips. So the first website I stumbled upon is called OT Mom. It's a blog written by an occupational therapist and mother, Tracy LaRoe. Link is in the description below if you want to read it for yourself. So she talked about the principles of development, meaning that our muscles develop from big to small, from proximal to distal. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Really, it just means that our trunk muscles, our big muscles, develop first before our small or fine muscles can develop. So for a child, this means that their shoulder and arm muscles need to be strong before their hand and finger muscles can properly use a pencil and crayon. I hadn't really thought about that before, but it really does make a lot of sense that your shoulder and your arm muscles need to be strong before you can properly hold and move a pencil. This means that the first thing I need to do with my daughter is work on her gross motor skills. This is things like crawling, jumping, climbing. I have a whole video on it if you want to check it out. After that, then we need to start working on fine motor skills. These are things like pinching and pulling and threading. Another video. So we definitely have some things that we need to work on. But it still doesn't answer my question. Did I start my daughter with a pencil too young? Is there such thing as giving a child a pencil at too young of an age? I mean, obviously a baby shouldn't be holding a pencil. But what point is a child ready to hold a pencil? Next, I stumbled upon an article by Mennillo. It's on occupational therapy for children. Once again, link in the description below. It took me through the stages of pencil grip development. I found this super interesting. So from ages 1 to 2, most children use what they call a fisted grip, holding the writing utensil kind of like a dagger, using their whole arm to scribble. Then, from 2 to 3 years old, all fingers are holding the writing tool, but the wrist is turned down so that the palm is facing towards the page. Their shoulders are more stabilized, so most of the movement is coming from the elbow. At about 3 to 4 years old, my daughter's age, most children use a 4-finger grip. They have a little more of the arc developing, and all 4 fingers are on the pencil. The movement comes from the wrist now, but the fingers all move like one single unit. At 4 to 6 years old, most children are using a static tripod, a quadrapod, or a 5-finger grip. 3 different names, but really basically the same main concept. A child's index finger, middle finger, and thumb are working as one unit to move the pencil. Sometimes a 4th or 5th finger is also involved in that same unit movement. At 6 to 7 years old, most children are now using the dynamic tripod grip, only 3 fingers to hold the pencil. This is the ideal way to hold the pencil for the most efficient and accurate writing at a good speed. So my daughter is not too young to hold a pencil. But Michelle does have a reminder, and I'm going to read it straight from her so I don't misquote her. She says, while it's important to start encouraging the correct pencil grip at a young age, it's also important to be aware that you are encouraging the correct age-appropriate grip. Getting a 3-year-old, like my daughter is. To use a tripod grip when their muscles aren't developed enough will only result in them using an awkward version of the grip. And these incorrect habits are hard to correct over time. So my daughter's not too young to hold a pencil, but I also shouldn't be expecting her to hold a pencil like a 6 or 7-year-old. So now I have one last question. What if a child is 6, 7, maybe even 8 or 9 years old and is still not using a mature pencil grasp? What do you do then? Well, I found an article by clinical neuropsychologist Ken Schuster. He gave a few tips. The first tip he gave is to give the child a writing device that has a surface for all 3 fingers to lay on. This is like a triangular crayon, or you could wrap a rubber band around a pencil. You could also use a pencil grip. There's even fancy pencil grips designed specifically for teaching proper grip. The second tip he gave is that a less mature grip and lighter pressure can be signs of muscle weakness in the wrist and in the fingers, the muscles we use to write. So, back to those fine motor skill activities. He said if your child is a light writer, you can encourage them to press harder by showing them the different shades that can be made by the same crayon or the same colored pencil just by pushing down a little harder. You can demonstrate. Show them how a crayon looks when you write light, give a little more pressure, and then a lot of pressure. Have them connect the different shades of color to the amount of pressure put down on the pencil or the crayon, and then have them do the same thing. There's also some fun ways to get your child to reduce the amount of pressure they use when drawing or writing. Choose a soft surface, maybe a piece of construction paper, a tablecloth that you don't mind getting a couple marks on, the back of a mouse pad, or even some craft foam. Put a piece of paper on it, and then let your child draw. Too much pressure, and the paper will rip. Goal, not to rip the paper. So I think I answered my questions. I need to encourage my daughter in gross and fine motor skill activities. I need to have age-appropriate expectations for her pencil grip. And if she's still struggling at 6 or 7, then we might need a few extra supports. What about you? Do you have any questions about pencil grip? If you do, write them in the comments below. I'll see if I can Google up an expert to help you answer them. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot.